Hi, Evangeline and Belina. It's Mommy. Today, I want to read a brand new book that I've never read to you. I know a lot of these books that I've been reading we own. So you've already read them, more than once, or Mommy's read them to you more than once. But this one's called Drum Dream Girl How One Girl's Courage Changed Music by Margarita Engel, Newbery Honor winner, and Rafael Lopez. So the reason I wanted to buy this book is because I saw a little bit about it, and it's about a girl. It talks a little bit about um, gender differences where, maybe girls couldn't do something and then they were able to do it. Because in history, sometimes women weren't allowed to do certain things. For example, that, women would stay home and take care of the kids while the husband worked. Um, Women weren't able to own property. Women weren't able to vote. So women weren't able to work in certain jobs. So throughout history, women have had to fight for equal rights. Equal rights means being able to do similar work to men. And it's not because you want to be a man, it's because women are smart, intelligent, capable, strong. And if they have the qualifications to be able to do that job, then it would be great to be considered for an amazing job, right? So I like that had a little bit of that in here, and it also had music, and I absolutely love music. Here at our home, and Evangeline and Belina know this, we love music. We love music. We love dancing. Um, we love singing. It's just a part of us. It's a part of our household. And since my kids were babies, since they were in the womb, actually, when I was pregnant with my daughters, I would sing to them. And I would also read children's books to them because they say it just starts so early what they hear. If they hear anger or violence in the womb, it might alter how they feel because babies, when they're really, really babies, if they're exposed to like a lot of screaming or a lot of violence, what ends up happening is that the way their brains are wired, it changes. It changes how their brains are wired. And they grow up living with maybe anxiety and fear and danger. And when they're older, they might live with that anxiety and fear and danger and not know why they're experiencing it because they have emotional memory. There's something called emotional memory where they might not remember what happened to them, but they store the emotional memory, the feeling of what happened to them. That causes a person to act or to react. So sometimes you might be tired and you might be grumpy and you didn't get to sleep and you might start, yelling or you might start crying because you don't know how to deal with big emotions. And that's okay. It's okay to deal with big emotions because emotions are a big deal. It's just a matter of what makes us feel better and who are our safety people so we can talk to, which is important. But let me go ahead and read this story Drum Dream Girl How One Girl's Courage Changed Music. Look at the beautiful illustrations on this. You see that? Butterflies and birds and a snake. I don't want to do a spoiler alert with the synopsis here. So I'll go ahead and read it. Oh, this is a poem. Poem by something I taught my daughters is this is our cover. This is our not cover page. This would be our cover page, right? So this is the title of your book here, and this is your cover page inside. That looks a lot like the cover here, and then this is the back. And we have a poem by Margarita Engel, and Margarita Engel would be the author. She's the one that writes the words. And then in illustrations by Rafael Lopez. They're the ones that draw the pictures. So when Belina was little, I would tell her, okay, who's the author? She would say, the one that writes words. And who's the illustrator? The one that draws the pictures. And it's a good way to show children the jobs of an author and an illustrator. On an island of music in a city of drumbeats, the drum dream girl dreamed. Look at these beautiful pictures. I'm already loving the illustrator. Look at the color and the detail. She's dreaming of pounding tall conga drums, tapping small bongo drums, and boom, boom, booming with long, loud sticks on big, round, silvery, moon bright timbales. I love the sound of music and beats on things, you know? Anything. You can tap anything and make music. You just have to listen to the sounds to find where you can make music. That's what a drum's like. But everyone on the island of music in the city of drumbeats believed that only boys should play drums. Only boys. Huh. How do you feel about that? Only boys could play drums. Do you think that's fair? Do you think a girl could play a drum? Let's check it out. So the drum dream girl had to keep dreaming quiet, secret, drumbeat dreams. She wanted to play the drums. She wasn't allowed to. At outdoor cafes that looked like gardens, she heard drums played by men. But when she closed her eyes, she could also hear her own imaginary music. She had music in her heart. Do you ever feel like you live with music in your spirit or music in your heart? I feel like I'm always marching to the beat of my own drum. Sometimes I'm at the grocery store and I'll sing and dance. And that's what I taught my children is just express yourself. And I'm pretty sure if people checked the cameras at the grocery stores, they would get a kick out of myself and my daughters because sometimes we'll be dancing down the aisles, having a good time because we like to live in the present moment. And I like to make everything fun, even grocery shopping. When you have music in your heart, life is just a little bit sweeter. When she walked under wind-wavy palm trees in a flower-bright park, she heard the whir of parrot wings, the clack of woodpecker beaks, the dancing tap of her own footsteps, and the comforting pat of her own heartbeat. Your heartbeat. Do you know where it is? Can you feel it? Is it like a drum? Boom, 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 boom. Are we hungry? At carnival, she listened to the rattling beat of towering dancers on stilts. Check it out. And the dragon clang of custom drummers wearing huge masks. She's a dreamer. I love her imagination. At home, her fingertips rolled out their own dreamy drum rhythm on tables and chairs. And even though everyone kept reminding her that girls on the island of music had never played drums, they kept reminding her of this. Look at this. It must be a heavenly sound with angel wings on this drum. See this picture? It's like she has to contain her love for drumming. It's in a cage. They're making her put her passion for drumming in a cage, and she has to lock it up because they're saying only boys play drums, not girls. And so she has to dream of it. And they're not letting her reach her full potential, her best self, because they're making her contain something that's just a part of her. And that could be hurtful to a person. You know what I like about these pages? You have to turn it to read it too. Look at that. See that? So this page, you can read it like this. And then this page, you can read it like that. The brave drum dream girl dared to play tall conga drums, small bongo drums, and big, round, silvery, moon bright timbales. Now she wants to play all the way to the moon. And look how happy the moon is because she's playing. Her hands seemed to fly as they rippled, rapped, and pounded all the rhythms of her drum dreams. Her big sisters were so excited that they invited her to join their new all-girl dance band. Would you start a band? I totally would. But their father said only boys should play drums. Oh no. Why do you think that? Why do you think their father said only boys can play drums? Maybe it was something that had to do with their culture. Only men or boys play drums then. But she wanted to play too. So the drum dream girl had to keep dreaming and drumming alone. Until finally her father offered to find a music teacher who would decide if her drums deserved to be heard. So her father changed his mind. She saw her playing, saw how talented she was, and decided to hire a music teacher. What a nice father. The drum dream girl's teacher was amazed. The girl knew so much, but he taught her more and more and more. And she practiced and she practiced and she practiced. That's what's important. When you love something, you keep practicing and practicing and practicing so you can get good at what you do. Until the teacher agreed that she was ready to play her small bongo drums outdoors at a starlit cafe that looked like a garden. Where everyone who heard her dream bright music sang and danced and decided that girls should always be allowed to play drums. And both girls and boys should feel free to dream. That's really important, that no matter who you are or where you're from, it's important to dream. And you can reach your full potential. You can reach all of your goals and dreams, but it has to take determination, meaning you need to really want it and you need to work hard at it every day. And even when it gets hard, or sometimes you fail. Sometimes when we really want to work at something or learn something, we fail and we cry and we're angry about it. And we're like, I was supposed to do great at this and I didn't. What's going on? It's okay to mess up sometimes and make mistakes or even to fail because we can grow from it. We can learn from mistakes, right? That's what's important. So never give up on your dreams. Your dreams are important, and you can be a person who ends up discovering something amazing for the world that helps everybody. So don't contain who you are. Be you. Express yourself as long as we're respectful to one another, right? Here is a historical note. This poem was inspired by the childhood of a Chinese African Cuban girl who broke Cuba's traditional taboo against female drummers. Taboo is when it's like a no-no. Oh, no, girls don't play drums. In 1932, at the age of 10, Milo Castro Saldarriaga performed with her older sisters as Ana Gaona, Cuba's first all-girl dance band. Milo became a world-famous musician, playing alongside all the American jazz greats of the era. At age 15, she played her bongo drums at a New York birthday celebration for U.S. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, where she was enthusiastically cheered by First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt. There are now many female drummers in Cuba. Thanks to Milo's courage, becoming a drummer is no longer an unattainable dream for girls on the island. Acknowledgements. I thank God for creative dreams. I am indebted to the wonderful autobiography written by Milo's sister, Ana Gaona, The Amazing Adventures of Cuba's First All-Girl Dance Band by Alicia Castro, with Ingrid Cummels and Manfred Schaefer, Atlantic Books, London, 2002. Special thanks to my family, my editors, Rika Simonsen and Jeanette Larson, designer Elizabeth Tardif, and the entire HMH publishing team. ME. And she dedicated to her grandchildren. For my grandchildren, ME. For my architect mother, Pilo, whose courage opened the ceiling above her dreams, RL. Kind of like how she puts wings on the drums. Do you notice how in one of the pictures, the drums and the wings were in the cage? Because she couldn't be free. And then all of a sudden, on the last page, this drum has been released. These angel wings or butterfly wings can fly. And now the music of song and life can be free, right? Her dream was to be a drummer. And she was able to accomplish that because even though her dad would say, No, only boys play it. No, only boys play it. He finally heard her play and realized, wow, beautiful, powerful, perfect. And he hired her a teacher so she could continue learning and growing. Let's learn a little bit about the author. Margarita Engel is a Cuban American poet and novelist whose work has been published in many countries. Her award winning books include Silver People, Voices from the Panama Canal, The Lightning Dreamer, Cuba's Greatest Abolitionist, The Wild Book and The Surrender, Three Poems of Cuba's Struggle for Freedom, a Newbery Honor Book. She's a several time winner of both the Americas Award and the Pura Belpre Medal. Margarita Engel lives in Northern California. And you can learn about her at www.margaritaengel.com. And let's learn a little bit about the illustrator. Rafael Lopez grew up in Mexico City, where he was immersed in the rich cultural heritage and color of street life. His vibrant picture books include Tito Puente, Mambo King, and My Name is Celia, both written by Monica Brown, and book Fiesta by Pat Mora. He has received the Pura Belpre and America's Awards multiple times. An acclaimed muralist, he has designed community-based mural projects nationwide. He divides his time between San Miguel de Allende, Mexico, and San Diego, California. www.rafaellopez.com. And this is published by Houghton Mifflin Harcourt. Isn't that great? I think this is a great inspirational book. Never give up on your dreams. And we should never rule out talent, meaning somebody might be so talented in music or so talented in art or so talented as a teacher, whatever it might be. And if we don't give them their space to shine, how can they grow? How can they grow in their skills? So remember, if you want to be good at something, don't give up. Practice, practice, practice. When you're riding a bike, you might fall 10 times, but by the 11th time, you might be a pro at riding that bike. It's okay to fall. It's okay to make mistakes. And it's okay to fail a test every once in a while. Because what happens is it's a learning experience and we grow. So let's not internalize. Internalize means put it in our heart that we're bad people just because we're not good at something or just because we made a mistake. That doesn't make you a bad person. Something that I learned as a therapist when I worked with kids is we don't want to say, oh, bad boy, bad girl, because then they internalize that and then they grow up thinking, I'm a bad person. But if you say, you're a good person, you're a good girl, you're a good boy, but your choice was wrong, or your action was bad, you're not bad. The behavior was bad, maybe to hit little Johnny in school, right? The behavior was bad to steal, but doesn't make you a bad person. It was a bad behavior. So let's make sure to separate that word bad or wrong, because then children grow up thinking, I'm bad at this or I'm a bad person. And we want children to grow up with positive, right? It's so easy. I mean, one of mom's first words, and I'm guilty of this too, and I would try to redirect myself when my daughter was 2 and she would, be doing travesuras all over the place. And travesuras is when they're being mischievous and they're taking things out and you just did the laundry and then they're like unfolding it while you're doing something else because it happens. And what they call the terrible twos, you just put all the dishes away and then they open up the pot and pans, drawer, and then they take everything out. And so something that I learned as a mom is when you have a toddler, always give them their own drawer or cabinet with little toys, kitchen toys, because I would let my daughter do that. I would be cooking in the kitchen. And then over here on this side, I had play toys in the play kitchen so that she felt like she was a part of it without taking all of my dishes out. You know what I mean? Without taking things out that she wasn't supposed to. And she loved it. She had so much fun. And I think when they're little like that, our instinct is to go, no, 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 don't do that. No, no, no. And how do we, refrain from saying no, 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 no so much? It's, I try to say, okay, try again. I do the try again, try again. Okay, let's try again. But it's parenting isn't perfect. There is no perfect parent. You sort of learn as you go. I think me being a therapist and having, conducted like parenting groups myself and things of that nature, I think I'm blessed that I have certain skill sets that I learned in being a therapist. So I would never be my children's therapist, but I'm able to communicate with them in a way that I hope is positive and encouraging, and just communicate with them in a very sort of free space where it's like it's okay to talk to mommy because I rather you come to me and me be your safety person than anybody else. And that's something that I feel my children still have with me. My children have not been returned to my care yet. We have further court dates, but I get to see them and I love them very much. And, we want to, make sure that Evangeline and Billina come back home. But we had a nice Benihana dinner yesterday and I was able to help them with their homework. I get to help them after school with their homework 2 days a week. But I can't wait for them to come home. And I bought them this book, actually. They haven't read this one at Barnes & Noble because they had another book that was 50% off if I bought a children's book. And I always think of my daughter still when I go shopping. If I buy something for myself, I buy something for them because they're my heart and they're my life and they're my girls. And that's something that I've been teaching my daughters. I teach them a lot of politics, even though they're little. My daughters are little, 7 and 9, but I teach them about real life things at their level because when they grow up, I want my children to be mentally strong. So remember, you want to build mentally, intellectually, and emotionally strong children so that they can survive and overcome hardships that they're going to experience because life isn't perfect. Nobody's perfect. Okay, we all grow every day. And it's important to consider yourself a lifetime learner, meaning I learn something new every day. For example, when I helped my daughters with their homework, there was a word I didn't really know. And I was like, I think it means this, but I'm not sure. Let me Google it. And I'm still at the age of 41 building my vocabulary while I help my children with their homework. It might have been a word that I encountered years ago, but I didn't remember it. So it's good to be humble and know that even if we've reached a certain level of success in our lives, maintain humble because you started somewhere too, right? We all started fresh somewhere in something. And it takes practice and it takes time to reach our goals and become experts in our field of study, whatever it is that you might do. So I recommend this book, Drum Dream Girl, How One Girl's Courage Changed Music. So hopefully you listen to some music today to regulate your mind, your spirit, and your soul so that you can have a happy day. I love you, Evangeline and Belina. Skipper Buddy and Marshmallow miss you, and we can't wait for you to come back home. Mwah! Bye, my little friends.